I've looked up to Beyonce as a performer for a really long time. And since I was a little girl and being able to work with her, and I'm an even bigger fan of her now than I even was.
Yeah, I remember Molly met her. We were doing Stand Up for Cancer in New York. She was so young, but Beyonce, honestly, she was just like, she was awesome, so nurturing even then, and so sweet and kind.
Her energy is very calming.
Yeah.
Very chill. Yeah, she's a whole vibe.
That means we rolling.
That's right. We're rolling. Welcome back, stoners. We are back in Nashville this week.
We are.
And we have another really exciting guest, Tanner Adell. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. We're so excited you're here. Do you live in Nashville?
I do. I'm in like West Nashville area. I've been here for 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are you from originally?
I grew up between California and Wyoming. Very random, but I was kind of back and forth.
Places.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, both fabulous places.
Very true. Very true. One has a lot more people, but
that's true.
But love them both. So,
yeah.
How, what was the reason between hopping back and forth between the two?
So my mom kind of grew up doing the same thing. She grew up in Santa Barbara and then a place called Star Valley in Wyoming.
Okay.
And instead of doing it like she would do it every other year. But me and my siblings would do the school year in California. I'm from Manhattan Beach, if you know where that is. And my summers in Wyoming. But all my family's in Wyoming and Idaho. So
wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like a dream.
I mean, it really
it was
does.
fun. It was fun. It's unique for sure. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your childhood like growing up? Did you ride horses? Were you a farm girl or not really?
So my mom was a rodeo girl and she showed horses like her whole life from being like a little girl.
Wow.
I didn't have as much interest in riding them as I did just braiding their hair and feeding them.
That's me, girl.
Totally.
I'm definitely more, I am not like a competitive rider. You know, my mom is very competitive. But no, I rode for recreation and for fun.
Yeah. Totally. That's so cool. Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have 4 siblings.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I'm the middle child. We're
Okay.
all adopted and biracial, but yeah, so kind of a, fun
You're
note
all
there.
adopted.
Yes.
I was adopted.
Were you really?
I was, yeah.
Oh my gosh, very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How have you
You know what? I literally just had the best childhood.
Yeah.
And my parents were just like, I was the only child. I was the only one that they adopted. But it was honestly magical. And my mom, she passed away during COVID, but
I'm sorry.
my best friend, like I just couldn't have asked for better parents. So it was amazing. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been meeting a lot more. I mean, maybe I'm just meeting more people in general, but I'm meeting so many more adopted kids. And it's just been interesting to hear everybody's stories.
Yeah, because I really never meet anyone that says we're adopted.
Really?
Never.
It's been recent that I've been crossing paths with a lot of adopted people.
And so I'm always like, it's like, I love, like you said, I love hearing the stories, but amazing that your mom adopted 5.
Yes, no biological children of like their own. But yeah, it's definitely a unique family, I think. And but I'm very grateful for my childhood. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah. I feel blessed.
Yeah, me too, very.
Yeah. Did you start like doing music from a young age? How did you get involved in music and specifically country music?
I'm really like a black sheep of my family when it comes to like the singing and the dancing.
Really?
Yeah, my parents knew from a very early like age that this is what I wanted to do, and they've always been really supportive. But I kind of had to like teach myself about music and dance and things like that. I didn't have anyone to teach me, and it was just always what I was doing. Always, I was always listening to music in my room and dancing around with a hairbrush, like that type of interest. But yeah, I just always wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you get to a point where you were starting to do it professionally and like wanted to make a career out of it?
After COVID in 2021 was when I moved to Nashville and kind of decided that I was going to take the leap and go out on a limb and do it. I've always loved country music.
Mm.
I obviously between California and Wyoming, my music taste is from both ends of the
Sure.
spectrum. There's such a broad love of music for me, but country music has always just felt like home.
Mm.
Wyoming was what I always felt like I connected with way more. It's where most of my like extended family was, and so my summers were my favorite parts of my childhood. And there's only one radio station in Star Valley, and there's no cell service.
That's
So I was
incredible.
listening to the radio,
Yeah.
and all it was country
Country
music, and I just fell in love with it, and I always wanted to be a part of it, teaching myself to play guitar at like 15 and learning. It was like Keith Urban songs and the Chicks, and I started writing my own song. I just, all kind of fell together, but country music was really, I think, at the foundation of my love for songwriting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can obviously definitely hear, all the different tastes in music and genres in music and what you do. There's a couple of your songs like I just love. I love Whiskey Blues.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Oh,
just
me too.
love all the mix of like the hip hop influences and the pop vocals and the country elements. Like it's very cool.
Thank you.
And I'm so excited for you that you've had so much success already.
Yeah,
which
it's been fun.
we can dive into. So you put out your debut mixtape, which was Buckle Bunny,
Yes.
which had a couple of hits on it, and obviously you were featured on the Beyonce record, which is super cool. I can only imagine that must have been a very cool thing to be part of. Ironically, my sister was also on the record.
She was.
Yes.
But I'd love to hear more about like how you got involved with that and how you were able to work with Beyonce and just hear your side of all that.
I mean, wow. First of all,
Yeah.
it's always I feel like sometimes you get so caught up in everything that's going on and it gets really busy, and so just stopping and thinking about everything and all the choices that I've made that have led up to opportunities like being on Cowboy Carter is pretty fantastic. I can't go too far into details with how I got involved with it, but I will say I've looked up to Beyonce as a performer for a really long time, and since I was a little girl, and being able to work with her and meeting her in person, you just never know when you meet people how
you
it's
never
gonna
do.
be. And I'm an even bigger fan of her now than I even was, and I think people would be so not even surprised, but people talk whatever their shit, and I think people would be so surprised to just know how genuinely sweet and kind she is, and how grateful I am just to be involved with anything that has to do with her. But
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I remember Molly met her when she was 16.
Yeah.
Very young, and we were doing Stand Up for Cancer in New York. And I mean, Molly, was she even 16?
I don't know if she was.
I don't even know if she was. She might have been way younger.
Yeah.
But she was between Beyonce and Rihanna. And, she was so young. Will you look it up, Kelsey, see how old she was? And I will never forget how they treated her. It was so special. Like, I love me some Riri. She is like, everything. But Beyonce, honestly, she was just like, she was awesome, so nurturing even then, and so sweet and kind, and just, 14,
That's what I
yeah,
thought,
yeah. And so
baby,
there she
little baby.
stood, and she's
Yeah.
looking up to all these women, and
Wow.
it was like, for me, like, just so amazing to see because she looked up to both of them so much.
Yeah.
And I was so happy that that was the experience. But Beyonce was just so kind to her and sent her a birthday present when she turned 16. And just like a good person.
Yes.
Like a really sweet,
Yeah.
really sweet.
Her energy is very calming.
Yeah.
Very chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a whole vibe.
Totally.
Whole vibe.
Yeah. Who else would you say are some of your influences? It doesn't have to just be country music, but in any of the genres that you feel like you channeled to create the sound that you have now.
One that I think is very funny. My little brother, so all of us are adopted, right? I have 4 siblings. My little brother, when he was adopted, around 6 weeks old, we found out he had a heart condition called cardiomyopathy, and that he was eventually going to need a heart transplant. And when he was 7 years old, he went into the hospital, Children's Hospital, Los Angeles, and my parents had to be in the hospital with him 24/7. So my grandparents took me and my little sister to Wyoming, and I ended up living there for about a year, like full time. And during this time, I was like, no, classic teenager. I'm like, nobody understands me. And music was like my just everything. Weirdly, at this time, I think I was listening to the Cannibal album from Kesha.
Oh, yeah.
So Kesha kind of got me through this summer. And I think for whatever reason, that is like a core memory album for me and has given me so much, like, I guess, like, the courage to just not give a fuck at all. Am I allowed to say that on here?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And really and really be myself and
Yeah.
just saying, "I can do whatever I want to do, and I'll do it the way that I want to do it, and I just don't care what anyone has to
I
say
love
about
that.
it." But I think that Kesha as an artist really kinda taught me that in those early albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always forget, like, how long Kesha's been doing
Long
this.
time.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
you know, because she's
Yeah.
had such a long career, which is
Yeah.
so cool,
Yeah.
and, like,
Yeah.
just this past year, she's headlining festivals,
Oh,
like,
I
she's still
know.
at it, you know?
Yes.
But she truly was, like, one of those pop stars to just come out and truly, like said, like, not give a fuck.
I know.
Literally,
I mean, there were
literally.
It's
no
true.
boundaries for
Yeah.
her,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is I think what people loved about her, and that's kind of been a recurring theme as we've been talking to people actually this week, which for me, like, I just think is so exciting for country music, for there to be so many up and coming artists right now that wanna push boundaries and just be true to who they are and
Yes.
try new things and step outside of the box, and I think
Yes.
that's really gonna make country music evolve in such cool ways in the coming
Definitely.
future, you know?
Definitely.
And what I love is, like, I love authenticity.
Mhm.
Like, that's the one thing that I talk about a lot because I think a lot of people finally, hopefully, see through the BS of a lot of it.
Mm.
But I feel like in country music for so long, you almost had to pretend to be a certain way or not a certain way or,
Yeah.
stay within the boundaries.
Yeah.
And like Brandy said, I just love that there are so many people now just saying, screw that, I'm going to be myself.
Yeah.
And it's working,
Totally.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's so exciting.
Totally. I think when I first moved to Nashville, there was definitely because I knew I was like, I'm gonna do country however I'm gonna do country, but I definitely felt like um, there was a line to
Totally.
not be crossed,
Yep.
and for the first year and writing with, other songwriters in Nashville, I definitely tried to tone myself down a little bit,
Mhm.
and one morning, I remember just waking up and being like, "I can't do this anymore because if I get stuck doing this kind of a traditional thing, I'm never gonna be happy doing that, and I need to just give my all." And I remember this specific day, I went to this writing session, and since the Buckle Bunny EP,
Mhm.
it was, the day that I wrote a song called Trailer Park Barbie,
Love
and
that.
and it was like, I gave no shits. I was like, "I'm just gonna give it bars," and, it's one of my favorite songs to perform live now, but that was the day I remember my publisher at the time when I sent it to her, she was like, "This is never gonna be played on the radio, no one's gonna listen to this, like, you can't be writing songs like this,"
Mhm.
and that was the start of my villain origin story of being like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep doing this," and then I wrote Buckle Bunny,
Yeah.
which has been a huge, huge help in my career.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that song was massive for
Yeah.
you. It's funny, I think a lot of people that do push boundaries with music that get told, like, "This isn't gonna get played," or "This song isn't gonna" like,
Mhm.
how many times has the song that you or anybody on Miley's team wants to push as a single either been said they've said no or whatnot, and then that song ends up being the fan favorite or the
Absolutely.
like, it
Right.
happens so much, and
Yeah.
I think when people really stand up for what they believe in, like, no one knows better than the artist, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to, like, it's your career on the line, right? It's your reputation, it's your art is a representation of who you are,
Totally.
and I feel like that is where people maybe get in trouble, right? Is where, like, you do what the label says or you do what's expected or you play by the rules, and then you get stuck putting out art that you don't feel like is you,
Absolutely.
and then if it takes off, then you're, like,
You're
stuck.
stuck.
You're
Yeah.
stuck in that,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And I think that's happened to enough people that artists are now kind of getting ahead of it and saying like, no, I'm not going to get stuck doing something that's not me,
Totally.
which is really cool.
So Brandi and I both are obsessed using points to buy everything and anything. So when we first heard about Build, it is so cool. You can use it on your rent. Like, it is so amazing to be able to get points from paying your rent. With Build, it's so cool because you can still use it for flights. You can use it for shopping. They have so many partners that you can use Build rewards with. So there's no cost to join Build. And as a member, you'll earn valuable points on rent and your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, and even the ones that you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world where you can redeem your Built points. Points can also be redeemed towards a future rent payment. Amazing. And unique experience that only Built members can access. So if you're not earning point on your rent, my question is, why not? Because it sounds amazing. To start earning points on your rent, you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/Cyrus. That's joinbuilt.com/Cyrus. And that's joinbilt.com/Cyrus. So make sure to use our URL so that they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/Cyrus to start earning points on your rent payments today. Okay, guys. So I really do believe that all of us, girls and guys, need to absolutely love our hair. And hair isn't only what you see on the outside. It's kind of a representation of what's going on the inside as far as your nutrition and your wellness. So Nutrafol is really great because it targets the key root of thinning hair or hair that's shedding, and it helps you grow stronger, healthier hair. I've known about Nutrafol for years. Brandi and I have both taken it and absolutely love it. I definitely see a decrease in shedding when I am consistent. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1 million people. See stronger, thicker, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. Like I said, consistency is key. Building the hair growth routine is simple. Purchase online, no prescription needed. Automated deliveries and free shipping keep you on track. Plus, with Nutrafol subscription, you can save up to 20%. You'll have access to free naturopathic doctors and consults, and Headspace meditation membership is included. So start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off of your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Cyrus. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code Cyrus. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code Cyrus.
But speaking of breaking barriers, you were also the first female country artist to perform at the BET Awards.
Yeah.
How was that?
Very cool. It's so fun. That award show is like a real entertaining show.
It seems like a good
every
time.
performance is like, yes. I'm like so glad to be here.
It was, I went, Billy Ray and Little Nas performed Old Town Road at BET.
Yeah.
And it was a freaking party.
It is.
And it was
BET's
so, I don't know. It felt like such a community.
Yes.
Like everybody was just so supporting of everyone. And honestly, the whole place just felt full of love.
Yes.
It was a whole different kind of award show.
It's definitely been one of my favorite red carpets.
Loved it.
Because everyone's just running around talking to each other and hanging out on the carpet. It's not like a take your picture and like run inside.
Yeah.
Everyone's out there. Oh my God.
Yes.
How are you? Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. It's tight.
Yeah, that's
I
very
love
cool.
BET.
Yeah, I love that. Was that your first award show performance?
Yes.
It was.
Yes.
That's a big one to be your first one.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I definitely disassociated just a little bit, just to get through the day. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but it's it's all these points where I think I see comments a lot that are like, why isn't she bigger than she is? And why isn't this and this? And people need to remember I haven't been doing this for that long, and
Yeah.
I'm still like these steps and strides that I'm making are just such a like quintessential part of my story and, learning and growing and getting through the growing pains. But BET definitely, extended a great, hand to me and having me perform. And yeah, I guess first female country artist to play at the BET. So
That
Very
is
cool.
really, really
wild.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they call Nashville a 10-year town, and
Yeah.
it is true. Like, it's a 10-year
Mhm.
minimum town,
Mhm.
really.
Mhm.
So for you, to just been here for a few years and to have already made so many great milestones and
Yeah.
been able to do so many cool things, like, you should really be proud of yourself, and you're
Thank
right,
you.
like, you do have so far to go, and it's all part of the journey, and I don't know,
Yeah.
it seems to me like you're doing great.
I mean, I tend to stay kind of to myself and just keep my head down and keep grinding. But a lot of people told me that when I moved to Nashville, the first song I wrote in town was Country Girl Commandments. And it kind of got sent around to some publishing. And people were like, oh, who is that? Who did this record? And I ended up getting a publishing deal within like 6 months. And I didn't realize how huge of a deal
Huge.
that was.
Mhm.
But I had, some label interest in town and people talking to me, telling me the same thing and saying it was a 10-year town. And I always said, not for me.
Yeah.
I'm
You
just
go,
gonna I'm
girl.
just gonna do my own thing. And you know what? No, I don't believe that. And I think that it's kind of like this weird thing that now they're trying to tell young kids that are coming here, well, you gotta do this for 10 years before you make it.
Mm.
And I think it's just, when the time is right, the time is right.
Yeah.
And knowing who you are, I think sometimes it'll take you 10 years to find out who you are. But I came into this
Mhm.
town very confident about who I was. I already had that part figured out.
Yeah. Good for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Super cool. You also recently wrapped your sold out Buckle Bunny
Yeah.
tour, which is so cool. How was that? Was that your first tour? How
Yeah.
did you like the road life? I'd love to hear a little bit about how
Yes.
life on the road was
I
for you.
loved it. It was so fun. I've only ever played with male musicians,
Mm.
and my goal for my tour was to have a female band. And so I got me a female band, and it was honestly just like even the days of travel and just being able to have like that sense of kind of sisterhood
Mhm.
was so much fun. And then going and seeing, I mean, my fans are from all walks of life, I will say. And it felt like just incredibly diverse and pumped to be there. And from the hats and the sparkles and the boots and the makeup, like it was just absolutely, you know, heartwarming
Yeah.
to see so many people who maybe a year ago would have never gone to anything that had the word country music
Yeah.
even associated with it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love the outfits you wear when you perform.
Me
We were
too.
talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear like your inspiration behind your like live wardrobe and
Yeah.
how involved you are with that. And like
Yes.
the ribbons are so cool.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So ribbons are inspired by my mom, who she was an all around champion. So she
Wow.
competed in every event and with horses. And I learned to sew from my grandma. My grandmother, I'm named after her. Her name's Adell. And so that's my middle name. Tanner
Okay.
Adell is my first and middle name. And she taught me how to sew at a really young age. And so I was making dresses for church and school, and I don't think they were that cute, to be honest. But it was like I just loved doing it, and
Mm.
that I always thought could be like plan B. I'll go into fashion.
Wow, yeah.
So I loved designing my own clothes and things, and as an independent artist, you're kind of like got to be bougie on a budget sometimes,
Totally.
and so going thrifting and repurposing for shows was really important to me, and I love anything custom. And so I
Love
love being
that.
able to make, my outfits just a little bit special with a special touch like a ribbon or something like that. But yeah, the ones we were talking about earlier, are you talking about the one with the ribbons on it?
Yes.
And it's so cute. I can't.
Thank
So
you.
good.
Thank you. Those were
Your
real
mom's.
competition ribbons.
That's what
Yes, that my mom had
yes.
won.
I'm
Yes,
obsessed.
first place, always. But yeah, it's fun things like that. I love being able to incorporate, um, things that are special
That's
to
what I was gonna
me.
say. That's so
Yes,
special.
yes, yeah.
Yeah. So did you actually hand make some of the outfits?
Yes,
Yeah.
that top I made myself.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh,
That's
girl,
so
that
cool.
is insane.
Yes, I made a lot of my outfits this last year.
Wow,
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, and I've got a cool styling team now, so it's fun to, work with other designers and wearing their designs now, which is very cool, and I've always wanted to be kind of embedded in the fashion community, and it's an art form that I really love and really appreciate, so.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite designers or anybody you'd love
Ooh,
to work with?
I have worn a lot of Bach Mai in the last year, and I'm obsessed with him.
That's
I'm
cool.
obsessed with him. I went to my first New York Fashion Week last
Ah,
fall.
how was
and
that?
Amazing.
You
I
loved it?
loved it.
I feel like people either
Oh,
love or hate it.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was going to like it or not.
Yeah.
It's
and
hectic.
You just
It is
don't
hectic.
know.
It's
Yeah.
hectic.
It's a
yeah.
lot, and you're tired. It's a lot of press and a lot of things and
Yeah.
a lot of flashing lights.
Yeah.
But I absolutely loved it and can't wait for more.
Yeah. So you're going to go back to Fashion Week?
End of this month. Yeah.
Are you going? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Get it, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It
real
seems like
fashion,
so much
baby.
pressure.
Um,
No or no?
I don't know. I think it's a lot more fun. And it's also fun when you have relationships with designers and
Definitely.
you're going to shows that you
Absolutely.
genuinely love.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah.
would make a huge difference.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. My daughter, Noah, she did Paris Fashion Week. Was that last year?
Oh, yeah.
I think last year.
And,
Yeah.
walked a few runway shows and
Yes.
she just absolutely loved it.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
I
I
mean,
haven't done Paris yet, and I'm like
she loved it.
next on the list,
Yeah,
though.
yes.
Yeah.
I just always remember February in New York Fashion Week, it always snows.
Oh, yeah.
But they're showing spring clothes.
Yes.
Right.
So if the designer sends you something to wear, it's from the spring collection and it's
cold.
freezing outside.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
just have PTSD of walking down the street in hardly any clothes in a snowstorm, for blocks because it's,
Yeah.
traffic and all the
You're
things.
I
that
don't want to do this.
it was a
anymore.
lot.
Yeah, you're
It
like,
was a
no,
lot.
man.
You really have to love it. It's one of those
Yes,
things. But
yes.
that's so
Well, that's
exciting.
good to know for this year.
Yeah, take a big
Okay.
heavy coat to wear
Take-
over
Okay,
because
good to know.
my goodness.
Making
And because
a note.
if a designer sends you something, you can't say no.
Oh, no, you have to wear it.
And you can't alter, you can't change it, you
No,
can't
you just
add to
gotta-
it. You just have to
gotta
wear
do
it. Yeah.
Just gotta do it.
Jeremy Scott, he sent me this me and Marta, this tank top dress,
Oh my
mini dress
gosh.
tank top, the
like,
brightest
"It's
colors you've ever
winter."
seen in the
Yeah.
dead of winter in New York. And there's photos of her and I walking down the street. We look so cold.
Oh my
I'm gonna
gosh.
find it so we can post
We
it.
have to
We
post
look
it. I love Jeremy.
That's
miserable.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, we have to wear it.
He's amazing. Talk about a nice human being.
Yeah,
Goodness.
he's a
He's
sweetheart.
beautiful. Yeah.
I know. Something we noticed is your music often carries empowering messages, especially for women, which we love. How do you channel that energy into your songs?
I think music has allowed me to kind of be the boldest form of myself. Uh, I think everyone deals with, insecurities and feeling overwhelmed sometimes with especially in this world in 2024. There's so much going on. But I think your music should be the fullest form of yourself, and it's a form of expression, just if you're writing a book or a poem or something, it's you to the max, and there's just no use in holding that back,
For sure.
So for me, I think it's been empowering for a lot of other people, but it's also um when I perform those songs, a reminder to myself too, and be like, I can do this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. I like that angle. Um, Religion and Too Easy, two of your songs, they have really deep personal elements to it.
Yes.
How do you stay vulnerable in your writing process, but while also protecting your peace?
Yes. It's hard.
Mm.
I think it's hard to when we're kind of talking about that line. I feel like there's also a line that sometimes you feel like you shouldn't cross when it comes to being vulnerable
Yeah.
and feeling like maybe I shouldn't share this part of myself. But it's also what the world needs, I think, right now is people telling the truth. And I've never been a good liar. And I've always spoken my mind. Religion is a very deep healing song for me. I was raised in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I was raised Mormon.
Wow.
And, I am still healing. I'm not practicing,
Mm.
but religion was just writing that was a journey for
I'm
me,
sure,
and
yeah.
trying to not be angry.
Mm.
And I think there's a lot of people who have gone through what I have gone through when it comes to religion. Um, and I didn't know if I wanted to share that with the world. I didn't know if I would ever share that with the world or even talk about my religious history. Um, but I've seen it already impact so many people and feeling like, oh, I was raised like this too, or like I didn't know she wasn't this. It's just crazy how many people connect when, like I said, when you're telling the truth. It's
Mhm.
what people need right now. Um, so yeah, it's being vulnerable is really hard.
It
It's
is.
really hard,
I
and
know.
social media is everywhere, and it's constant, and you have to talk about some things, and even sometimes when it's hard to, I think that's why I've been given, you know, a gift to be able to write and sing, and not only heal myself, but heal a lot of other people.
Yeah. Because you are just so open and vulnerable, especially like with your fans and
Mhm.
things. Is there anything that you do when you come home or like when you have time on the road to yourself that you do for you that you think helps balance that?
Yeah.
What is it?
I love weed, and I love my Nintendo Switch. That is me
Wow.
time.
Those are the things.
I'm like, I can zone out and I can farm on my little I can go fishing if I want in the
On
middle of
the
winter on my
Nintendo?
Amazing.
island. Yeah,
Is that
Animal
weird?
Crossing,
Oh my
Stardew
gosh.
Valley, ride my little horse
I'm
around.
obsessed.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm a homebody.
That is so funny.
But yeah, that's my me time.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
All
amazing.
right. I
thank
know.
you.
She's a retired stoner.
That's
Yeah.
what I heard. That's what I heard.
She
Not for
misses.
long.
Okay.
Just a break.
Just a
Just to take in a little
it
breaky,
was
little breaky break.
like you do not know, girl. I love weed.
No, I
Like
think I
one day
know.
I was like,
I
what
know.
something like they were talking about my brand and I'm like, weed is my brand.
Yes,
You know.
yes.
But I just went through a period that started making me very anxious.
Oh,
And
okay.
made
Yeah.
me very sad.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, I miss it a lot. So I'm hoping
How
like
long has it been since
8 months.
Oh, wow.
Oh
Good
yeah.
for you.
Yeah, it was not easy. It has not been easy.
I'm sure.
Um, but you know what? I kind of now have made it to the other side and I'm feeling pretty
Mhm.
good. And, um, but again, like I don't plan on that being forever
Yeah,
because
right.
like I'm very much a homebody and, I feel like with weed, I was never bored.
Mhm, mhm.
I like, I could be a little Trace, my son who never leaves the house, like
He's a
truly.
Oh
homebody?
my gosh. He
Okay.
will
Oh,
not
he
leave the
Oh, I
house.
love being home.
Me too. Me
And,
too.
yeah, yeah, it was hard to get me to leave. Uh,
Mhm.
but but I love the Nintendo Switch because as I was going through this period of, like, I was having a lot of anxiety, Molly gave me a Nintendo
She
Switch.
did?
What games do you
And you know
play?
what? I couldn't figure out all the buttons. I was like, "Wait, huh? I'm jumping what?" Like, I, like, could not
I'm
figure it
surprised
out.
you can see it.
Oh, well, I could see it, but, like, Max and her totally set me up, and because I was, like, kind of bored out of my brain, and I was very anxious and antsy, and they thought it would give me something to
Yeah.
do,
Yes.
but I just couldn't figure it out.
That is
So
hilarious.
But
Maybe you can give
so
her a
no
crash
more
course.
Nintendo
so no
Switch.
more Nintendo
Okay.
Switch. They
Maybe she could give you a crash course.
I
Yeah,
was gonna
no.
say, send me your friend code and we can
Yeah.
fish
Seriously.
together on
Oh,
my
I love
island.
I
that.
love that that's the games those are the games you're playing on the
Yeah, I
Nintendo.
do like farming simulators. They're
I am
called cozy
obsessed.
games.
That is
There's a
so
whole
cute.
niche called cozy games for like high anxiety and you just kind of zone
Wow, that
Yes, I
seems
will send
great.
you a list
Oh
of
my
cozy games.
gosh,
Oh yeah.
okay.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. When I was a kid, I'm old. when I was a kid, computer games were the thing.
I remember.
And I played a virtual game called Horseland.
I remember this.
And
That
I had
sounds
my virtual
fun.
horses, and they did shows, and I won money.
Did
and
you like brush them?
yes, you did all the
Yes.
things. Like
Yeah.
it was so funny,
Yeah.
but that was my jams. Maybe I need a Nintendo Switch.
Seriously?
You don't
Is that what
have
it is?
one?
No.
Oh, you definitely
I've never
need
been
one.
like a big video
Yeah.
gamer,
I feel like
but
that could be great for the
Yes.
plane and
I
stuff too.
know.
With traveling, it's amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing. There's actually a game, I think it's like you're supposed to be like 8 years old, but
It's fine.
it's called Unicorn Princess.
That sounds right up my
And
alley.
you
That's
have a
amazing.
unicorn, and the graphics are fantastic, and you just ride your unicorn around. You go meet your unicorn at like the little line that you
Oh
cross
my
over to go into like the
gosh.
fantasy world. Yes.
I
Yeah.
love this.
Yeah.
That sounds so
Unicorn
cute.
Princess.
This could be dangerous for me though.
I
think-
know.
But I
Because
think you need one.
yeah, I could definitely get stuck like not leaving the house too.
Yeah.
I feel like with that.
Absolutely.
That is so funny. Well, I love that so much.
You know how much I talk about collagen. I absolutely love it. So today I am here to talk about Ancient Nutrition's multi-collagen. It says it's advanced, which I believe. I really truly do believe that collagen is like the number one thing. If you're just going to take one thing, collagen should be it. As we age, like we just don't repair as well. Things start to break down, which is really annoying. But the great news is that collagen is known to help rebuild and repair muscle. Ancient Nutrition's multi-collagen advanced lean supplement contains 10 types of collagen from 10 food-based sources. This formula is powered by clinically studied ingredients that promotes fat loss and healthy weight management. And for me, the most important thing is building lean muscle. Collagen can also reduce joint discomfort, and it really, truly does help with your hair, skin, and nails. That's for sure. Plus, Ancient Nutrition's multi-collagen advanced lean is delicious. And what I love to do is I put it in my coffee. You can put it in matcha. So you can put it in a smoothie. It's super versatile. So it's really easy to get in each and every day. But right now, Ancient Nutrition is offering 25% off your first order when you go to ancientnutrition.com/Cyrus. That's ancientnutrition.com/Cyrus for 25% off your first order. And that is ancientnutrition.com/Cyrus.
All right. Well, we have a little game we like to play.
Okay.
It's Tish's favorite part of the
Here we
episode.
go.
Whip out the glasses.
When the
It's
glasses
called
go on.
I'm scared.
it's called What's the Tea?
Oh.
And it's just like a little bit of a rapid fire. We just ask you some questions.
these
Nothing
make me so
crazy.
nervous.
I know,
These
right?
are
Okay.
easy.
The questions aren't bad,
Okay,
but I
okay.
understand the anxiety of rapid fire because I'm always like
Yes.
I have trouble answering quickly.
Yes, me too.
Oh, and you'll love this.
too.
It used to be called Truth or Toke.
It
So if you
did.
didn't want to answer, you just took a hit.
Bring me back when you're
It
when you're
was much.
smoking
It
it
was
out,
so
right?
much more fun when it was Truth or Toke. Now it's What's the Tea? I mean,
You
holy.
realize this is all your fault.
I know.
Like it's your fault. It's truth. It's so it's the tea now.
I just put my bong up downstairs and it was freaking depressing.
I got one right there if you need it.
Okay, so
I wasn't envisioning a bong for you.
I
No,
like,
it's-
usually just like a lot of pre-rolls,
Pre-rolls, yeah.
but
Yeah,
I would whip out the bong quite a bit.
Yeah.
I've seen her smoke out of a Coke can.
Oh yeah,
That's kind of cute.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, that was when I'd be desperate in a hotel.
there's
and
nothing
then
you
I'd
could do.
take
Yeah.
a Coke can and
Yeah.
squish it, and poke little holes in it, make a little. Yeah, it was
I'm
good.
gonna remember that.
Yeah. Okay, what's your most treasured piece of advice from another artist?
I talk to Lainey Wilson
Oh, we love
Lovely.
her.
frequently.
Yeah.
And we had a really good conversation this summer. And she has just, taken off.
Taken off.
And she was saying just how, she feels like when you become more successful, you tend to lose people who supported you, and all of a sudden they're all, gone. But she just told me to keep doing what I was doing and to be myself. And hearing that from her and we could not be more different sonically,
Sure.
like musically. But I just felt like, she's told me that I'm needed. And coming from her, I think that's been one of my favorite relationships that I've had
very cool.
form over the last year.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she is.
Love her.
She is.
I mean, just badass. to the core. She's so
Very.
awesome.
Yes.
Mm. I love Lainey.
If you could spend a day as a character from any movie or TV show, who would it be? Oh, I know mine.
What?
Wait, who's yours?
Pamela and Baywatch.
Oh, jeez. I should have known that.
That's good. That's good. I mean, it'd have to be a princess of some kind. My favorite movie is Trolls, so I would be Princess Poppy.
Cute.
There you go. That's a good one.
For sure.
Tequila or wine? Or whiskey?
Whiskey. Yeah.
Brandy
yeah,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I don't drink tequila or wine.
Unfortunately.
I know. Right?
Why? I'm like,
I
why
know. I don't
me?
know.
I know. Unfortunately, I really love whiskey.
Same.
Love it.
I know.
Honestly,
Love
if
it.
I had to drink, I think I just like
If I
whiskey.
had to.
Like I don't
Twist
love
my
to
arm.
drink, but
Same.
I'm not a
I
drinker.
would rather. I will smoke weed before I drink.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like a little whiskey and Coke. Yum.
Coke.
Yeah.
I like Coke
okay.
and
No, that
whiskey.
ruins it.
No, I love it.
You're nuts.
Okay, if you had to describe your life in 3 emojis, what would they be?
Oh,
A unicorn for sure.
Definitely a unicorn emoji, a bunny emoji,
Yep.
and what's like a horny emoji? Not the eggplant though. Not that
little
one.
devil?
A little devil.
Oh yeah, the smiling like
Yeah.
that one.
That's
Cute.
a good one.
Yeah,
Really
I feel like
good.
those are so different.
What is something fans would be surprised to know about your upbringing in Wyoming or California?
I think fans would be surprised to know that I love to bake. And I would enter baked goods into the county fair in Wyoming.
Oh my gosh.
And I have multiple blue ribbons.
That
Yeah, I
wow.
So cute.
I do.
That is so funny. Have you
I
ever
love
been
it.
to like a true county fair?
Yes, girl.
Like where they have shit like that?
No,
like a true, like I went to the county fair in Idaho last summer. And
yeah.
it was
Yeah.
the things people
yeah.
submit
Yeah.
for competitions.
Oh, yes.
Like squash, vegetables.
No,
My
like
grandparents,
crazy.
My grandparents do it every year.
Yeah.
My grandma always submits a quilt. And my
Quilts
grandpa always
are-
submits like a carpentry item.
Mhm.
So this year they both won blue ribbons, and he made like a toboggan.
That is so cool.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
like people do this and they submit for these
And
competitions.
they work all year on it.
literally all year.
All year.
And like it's so
Yes.
niche. Like there's so
Yeah.
many categories, like food items, like you
Yeah.
said, baked goods,
Yeah.
cobblers. There's like 8,000
Yes.
cobblers, and it's like
they're all
Yes.
competitions.
yes, everyone's trying to
Yes.
get like pinned, like best
Yes.
cobbler, best squash, best
Okay.
ear of corn. Like it is
That is
crazy. That was her.
crazy.
That's
Strawberry
good.
rhubarb pie
Oh my
Yum.
god.
and peanut butter cupcake.
Yum. That sounds so good.
It's my specialty.
Oh my gosh.
We need to learn to cook, girl.
That's not gonna happen for
Not-
me.
I'm terrible at it.
You're next.
Oh, I forgot.
She always puts her cards down, and that's when I know.
Oh no!
She's
I'm
losing her.
behind. And what's the most unexpected item you always bring with you on tour?
Probably my Switch. Even though now that people know that I play
Yeah.
Switch, that might be expected, but I take it everywhere.
Wow,
Just
that
in
makes
case.
that'd be great on tour.
You just never know.
Yeah.
I feel like we've kind of answered this, but what's a
Mm.
secret talent of yours that has nothing to do with music? She
Yeah.
bakes,
She
she
said
sews.
bakes.
I sew.
Seriously,
She does it all.
Special talent.
I mean, baking, sewing. Like, what more can you ask for?
Oh, that's true. I speak Swedish.
What?
Yeah.
How and why? Like, where did this come from?
I went on a mission. I was a missionary in Sweden.
Oh.
So I'm fluent in Swedish. I just got back from Sweden a day ago. I was
So
out
did you
there
go
riding.
as a kid? Did you learn as a kid?
No.
You learned it as an adult?
I went on a mission when I was
Wow.
19 years old.
That is crazy. And in how long are the missions when you
2
go?
years.
2 years.
Whoa!
So you learned it in that 2-year
Yeah.
stint.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I went to, it's called the Missionary Training Center.
Mhm.
And I went for 6 weeks, and that's where I learned Swedish. And then
Did you enjoy that experience?
I did. It
Yeah.
was one of the hardest things I've ever done. But I think I learned self-discipline, and I am a very hard worker, but that type of work in the service of the Lord is something else.
Wow.
Yeah. So maybe who I am today.
Yeah.
Do you use it enough to to keep the like to keep being able to
I
speak
can
it?
still speak it. I
can.
literally just got back from Sweden 2 days ago.
Do you go often?
No, this is my
No.
first time back in a
Oh.
while. And I'm finishing up my album. So I went
Okay.
out there for some writing and was speaking Swedish.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, so I
'Cause
can
I
still
feel like
understand it, still speak, but like you don't need Swedish
Well, I feel
here.
like it's hard to maintain it if you don't use it.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
kind of it's a muscle.
Yeah.
It was definitely like the first day I was like, oh, I might be a little rusty, and then as
It just
days went
came right
on,
back to
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah.
That is one thing I really do wish I learned a second language.
Me too.
I did not.
Mm.
I tried.
What language?
I tried French. I picked French in high
Oh,
school like
that's
a dummy.
fun.
I wish
Yeah.
I'd picked Spanish because I
French is
think that's
cute.
something I could have used more
I
and
wish I
maybe
spoke
kept, like
Spanish.
maintained. But
Yes.
yeah, I took French and somehow I made straight A's for 4 years and can't speak a lick of it. So that right there tells you how good our school systems are. that you can
Seriously.
make those good of grades and not really know the
Well, there you
language.
go.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your guilty pleasure song that you can't stop listening to right now?
More Than a Woman, Bee Gees.
More
I don't
than
listen to a lot of music.
woman.
Yeah.
I
More
love
than a
it.
woman to
I
me.
listen to that song in the car all
Yeah,
the time.
all the time. I listen to 60s and 70s most of the time. I don't really listen to
Me too.
yeah,
Does.
to
I
music for the
literally
last 30
am
years.
on the 60s, 70s radio all the time.
Seriously, let me know when you're
I
smoking
love,
again.
oh girl, that is
She's like, call me
like
immediately when you start
smoking some
Yes.
weed and
Yeah, and
playing
listening to the Bee
oh,
Gees.
the people that would come to my house when I was smoking, which was all the time, like the doors are open and the music's on the
Yes, it's
70s
the
playlist, and
vibe.
I am
Yes.
vibing.
Yeah, same.
Love it.
Yes.
You really do miss it, don't you?
So bad. Like it is sad. I'm gonna need to go to therapy
I
after
know.
this.
Sounds a little traumatic.
What has been your biggest fangirl moment when meeting another artist?
I wanted to interview MGK, and I did, and he was great.
That's sick. Do you like his
Yes.
music?
I don't listen
Oh, you
to
don't even know it?
anybody.
Yeah. You just thought he was cool.
Like it's
Love
literally
that.
the Bee Gees.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm obsessed.
Like literally
we
disco
are
music,
like
disco, and then when I really want to check out, and this is a little weird, I listen to vintage 20s Italian music.
oh wow.
Yeah. Because I can't understand what they're saying, and so I think it just
Yes.
turns my brain
You're
off.
like, it's just
Yeah.
a
But
vibe.
that, like during the summertime, when I'm like, if
Yeah.
I'm laying out,
Yeah,
that's what's
that's what you
playing.
turn on. That's
Yeah.
what I mean.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are well-rounded musically.
really
You really
are.
are.
That's what they say.
That's what they
Just kidding.
say. Oh, it's your turn.
Oh,
bad.
if you could create your dream music festival lineup, who would headline?
I have so many festival ideas. First of all,
Me
I want to
too.
have my okay.
Yeah.
We're teaming up.
Me
It's
too.
official.
She'll
It's
start smoking weed
official.
again, and you guys
Yes,
will put
and
on.
I'll teach you how to
God.
play Switch.
That would be amazing.
And we'll start our own festival. Okay, dream headliner for a festival. Oh, who's alive still that could do it? I mean, I think Adam Lambert's doing amazing with
yeah.
Queen.
He's killing
That
it.
could be so fun.
Yes.
I mean, I would love like a disco festival.
yeah, that would be. Why has somebody not done
Why
that? Do
has
that.
no one done that?
I know.
That would be
I
amazing.
know. We'll do it.
I will say in the car, one of my songs that I have been playing over and over is "I Will Survive."
Oh my
That's a
god.
really good one.
I literally
really
turn
good
that
one.
shit up,
Turn
and
it up.
I'm like
Bae.
all up in my female empowerment.
Yes.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah. I feel
I
you.
mean, and she
I
was
feel you.
so just like ahead of her time.
Mhm.
And like, I don't know. I love it. I'll play it like
Yes.
20 times in a row. I just am like
Mhm.
loving it.
What's
Mhm.
the guy's name? I'm blanking. He takes film photos for Miley sometimes.
I know exactly who you're
He's
talking
he
about.
DJs disco music.
What?
Oh yeah. What's his name?
I don't
I'm
remember his
totally
name.
blanking. He's friends with Marta.
Oh, I know exactly who you're
I
talking
can't
about.
think of his name.
Actually, he's always dressed very much that way.
Yes,
very
very
disco.
60s, 70s.
Yeah.
He throws these parties in LA
Mhm.
and he DJs them and it's disco nights. And they are so fun.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
If you're
your
ever in LA and
vibe.
he's throwing one, you should go. Like
Absolutely.
They're
Are people
always-
like roller skating?
some
I
do.
love
And
roller
people
skating.
dress to the nines. Like it's like a
techno stuff.
costume part. Like event.
I mean, he's
Yes.
fabulous.
He is.
But I can't even look like it. Like he makes me nervous because he's always taking my picture. Like he's a photographer,
Right.
and like I'm like running because I hate having my picture
And his
taken.
pictures are so good. Though,
They're
'cause
so
film.
good, but like it just makes
Film
me
is
so
cute.
nervous.
Yes.
So it's better.
Love.
Well,
Wow.
yeah, I'll get
Wow.
you the info. And if you ever get to go to one, it's great. They're
Yes.
small, they're intimate, they're so fun.
Yeah.
And every time I go, I'm like, why don't more people do this?
It's
Because it's so
amazing.
fun.
When
And
I
Yeah.
lived in Utah, I had a roller skating membership, and I went roller skating at the rink every day.
That's incredible.
I feel like
She
her
loves
and
those.
I,
I know you
like,
guys are 2 peas
we
in a
are 2
pod.
peas in a friggin' pod.
really
like,
are.
literally.
Uh,
Yeah.
the
That-
rink here is horrible.
I was gonna say
They
have you
just
have you
redid the
been?
floors,
Is
but,
it the
like,
Brentwood one?
yes.
Brentwood Skate Center?
We
Oh, I
used to
almost
go there
busted
all
my
the
ass
time.
on those floors, and
We've
then they
had-
replaced them, and they're okay. But then
Are
they
they?
were like, "It's adult skating time," and then all the kids are in there, and they're just falling over. I'm like, "I can't do
Oh my gosh.
I can't skate in
I
this
love roller
environment."
skating.
I know. When I was a kid, I used to have my birthday parties there.
Yeah, we
I wanna
did.
have a birthday party there.
Well,
I didn't
yeah.
really have,
Should
like,
we rent
birthday
it
party-
out? Throw a
Wait,
disco
and-
party?
And whose
Yes.
whose
That's what we
birthday
should
was
do.
it that we did the 80s
Miley.
themed Miley's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun. 80s is always fun.
80s is
80s is
so
always
fun.
Yeah,
fun.
but I'm envisioning like disco night at Brentwood Skate
Yes.
Center. We rent it out
Yes.
and we throw
Yes.
some sort of party for some reason.
Well, I know why.
Tell me.
Because if are we doing our live show in May near my birthday?
We might be.
Yes.
Birthday party.
How fun would that be?
That would
That
be
would
fun.
be a blast.
Okay, I like
Break
it.
out your skate.
I'm gonna break out the skates. I
Can
better
you
do
still
this.
skate?
I probably cannot even stand up, but I'm gonna start now.
Try it. You can use the little
the
helper.
exactly. I'm gonna go when I get home to LA. I'm gonna start practicing.
Yeah, you should
in the
practice now.
garage.
You
Yeah.
should practice. You should
Honestly,
practice for
I
sure.
should too.
Elbow pads, knee pads.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, last
Yeah.
one. What is your favorite hype song to listen to before going on stage?
Oh, I have a
Or is it
whole
something zen?
playlist. It's more zen type. It's my focus playlist.
That's how Miley
Um,
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole bunch of people. But Casey Musgraves. I loved Deeper Well this year, and Deeper Well is one of the songs on my focus list.
It's
It's
a
just
good
like
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about somebody too. Like I love that Casey. I feel like she is pushing boundaries all
Yes,
in country
always,
music.
Always.
And like I love that she talks about mushrooms and like, I think she's really been just so honest and
Yes,
truthful about,
yeah.
who she is in her process and all that. I love Casey.
She's cool
Sick.
as shit.
She's so freaking
She's
cool.
so cool.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great.
Love her.
I
Well,
know.
this has been
Love
so
her.
fun.
Well, we're not done.
Yes.
Oh,
We have a Dear MT,
okay, great.
right? We have time? Okay, great. Our last little segment
Uh-huh.
is called Dear MT, and where the stoners, our
Yes.
listeners,
Okay.
call in and ask my mother for advice, but we can also pitch in some advice. And
hilarious.
sometimes her
Yes.
advice is, sus. So we'll
Love
It
see.
is
that.
a little sus.
She's hit or
that.
miss.
Sometimes
Love
I'm
it.
just like, I don't know how to answer that. Brandy, you answer that, Bran.
Well, we have a video this week.
Okay,
so
great.
Let's
Hi, Tish and Brandy. My name is Ari. I'm from New Zealand. Love the podcast. Love you guys. Love your whole fam. Love Miley, Noah, Brandy. Yeah, you're all so cool. And Tish, you're like teaching me so much. Ever since I found your podcast, you're like my life inspiration. So yeah, I'm calling for some relationship advice. Going through a really hard time right now with being completely in love with someone that I've been with for almost 2 years. I even have his name on my finger. But I know he's mentally unwell, and he kind of takes it out on me. Well, he does take it out on me, as much as he doesn't want to. Knowing, however, that mental health is something that can take years to improve. I don't know what to do because my gut is telling me this is not good for me. But my heart is obviously very in love. So yeah, love to hear any thoughts about mental health or being in relationships with someone who, is about to start their mental health journey. And any advice would be great because I'm really, really torn. Yeah, so thank you so much.
This is hard.
Love from New Zealand.
Gosh,
I
I
love
love her. We do this every
her.
time. Wow, that's a tough one.
It is really tough. And I do think like it is really hard when you're in a relationship with someone that has mental health issues or substance issues or, and it is so hard because when you are in love or you love someone so much, and I mean, to me, it looks like it's really affecting you. To me, it looked like it was really affecting her. Um, and you want to stay so bad, but I think sometimes like you do have to prioritize your own mental health, and I think that when you stay in a relationship too long and it also seems like you really know and feel like it's time to maybe leave. Didn't you feel that from her?
Yeah.
Um, and you stay too long, I mean, you can cause yourself it can be very traumatizing. And I think, it does sound like he's getting help, and, it
Mhm.
sounds like he's getting ready to start his mental health journey. That's what I was, hearing from her, right?
Yep.
That maybe he was starting that, which I think is so incredible for somebody to recognize it and, um choose to go to therapy and to get help. And I think that you can be there for him. I mean, this is just on me, and I'm going to listen to you guys too. Um, but if it's abusive, and because you said he takes it out on you, I think you really have to prioritize your own yourself as well. And I think maybe through his journey that you can be there for him and be his friend, or but maybe not be all in.
Mhm.
And like, if he sticks with his treatment and with therapy, I mean, that's not to say you have to be away or be apart forever. Maybe it's just this season that he has to go on his journey to, get help and get treatment. And then maybe you can come back to it if you're still feeling the feelings that you have. But I do know for myself, um, a lot of my anxiety when I went to therapy was trauma based and PTSD based. And um, I mean, it's hard. Like, what do you think?
I agree. I completely agree because something that I am such a big believer in is like if your cup is empty, then you can't give anything to anybody else.
Hmm.
So if what's happening between the two of them is taking a toll on her and
Hmm.
it's depleting her, then there's not going to be anything she can give to him that's going to be
Right.
helpful. So it's like you're right. I think she has to look out for herself, and then once he gets professional help,
Exactly.
then she's going to end up having so much more to give him and so much more support on the back end
Right.
versus letting their relationship deplete her also.
Exactly.
That's kind of what I think.
Because if you stay too long, there's going to be resentment and, so many other issues. And the part that I just really stood out to me was her saying that he takes it out on her even though he doesn't mean to.
Mhm.
And I think that's where the boundary has to come in. And I think if that wasn't happening,
Mm.
maybe it would be okay to stay in it. But I think that if that's happening now,
Mhm.
like, that's just not a good thing for her.
Yeah.
And, but I definitely believe in people going and getting treatment and getting help and, coming out on the other side. And, how great would that be
Mhm.
if, she can still be there, I think, but hopefully in the long run, they could be together
Yeah.
because, Tish loves love. Love,
Loves.
love. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope that helped.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's good. Good advice. See? You nailed it that
You
time.
did.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I said, hit or miss.
That one was heavy
It
because,
was.
like, I think a lot of people go through that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, alrighty. Well, that was great. Tanner, thanks for joining us this
Thanks for
week.
Yes.
having
It was
me.
so
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
fun.
course.
yay.
Yeah.
Well, stoners, make sure you guys are on the lookout for any new music coming from Tanner. Is there anything that's coming up in this new year that you want to tell everyone about, where they can find you or where you'll be?
I mean, I'm everywhere on social media, wherever you are and whatever you stream on, my music's there. I'm Tanner Adell. And I've been finishing up my album, so you can look forward to a nice, meaty, juicy project coming very soon.
Amazing.
Are you touring this next year at all?
We are trying to plan one. The last one, we did just a handful of dates, and so many other cities were freaking out, like, "Why aren't you coming to us?"
Yes.
And so I'm hesitant to say whether or not I will,
Fair.
but it is, you know, the forefront of my mind. So,
Great.
yes.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Well, we love that.
Yes.
And stoners, make sure you send in your DMT questions for next week. You can send them to sorrywe'recyrus@gmail.com. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, stoners.
This podcast has been brought to you by Podcast Nation and Hopetown Entertainment.